Hello, and today I'll be reviewing the fourth book in the Harry Potter series, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. This book is my favorite book in the series with regard to how action packed and thoughtful the book is. And all the three tasks are so, thoughtful and weird in their own ways. Now I will talk about my favorite parts about this book and those that I feel fit well into the story. First, let's start off with the usual talk, the Dursleys. Throughout the entire first three books, the Dursleys control Harry, abuse him, and he always felt so bad, but for the first time, he has some control over his aunt and uncle. The best part about this is that the Dursleys know who is Sirius Black, and now he can say, you know what, I'm writing to my godfather and he wants regular updates on my well-being. If he doesn't hear from me in 2 or 3 days, he might come here. And if you don't let me go to the Quidditch World Cup, of course I'll write to him and let him know. And there's nothing that you can do to stop me. Boldness feels quite unnatural and it's a very new kind of feeling for both us and Harry, but whatever it is awesome. And I almost forgot the Tung Tung Toffee. Man, that was a great demonstration. It also shows the potential of Fred and George's joke shop. Here's something that I also forgot to mention. I got the Gryffindor edition of this book and look at how this looks. It's a beast. The World Cup, it gives us a real taste of how professional Quidditch look like, what Harry can do in the future. It also tells us that there are different things like the omnioculars or whatever else they were selling there that makes Quidditch feel like a very well developed sport. Usually the dark magic and stuff comes at the end of the book, but here it starts right at the Quidditch match before Harry even goes to Hogwarts. And at the end of the book, we also understand why Winky was sacked without a second thought by Crouch. I actually didn't understand that the first time I read the book, but it was very clear to me at the end. There is almost absolutely no stone unturned in making sure that this book is as realistic as possible. For example, the twins tried to get their names into the goblet because they wanted the reward, and then Ron was jealous at Harry for his fame. It all makes it feel like these characters are not just some things that say some stuff. It feels so lively. And the goblet throwing out the names of the best candidate was such a nice idea. And it is also the first time that we see magic from outside of Britain. It's always Britain, but with the other schools and the Quidditch match and Triwizard tournament, awesome. We get to see that music is not just in Britain, but it's spread all across the world. I don't know if it's just with me or not, but I feel like Harry has a great talent at learning spells that are way more advanced than his level. Like for example, he learned the Patronus and this year the Summoning Charm, which is a great idea. Another thing that I noticed is that the Triwizard tournament is supposed to be fair. And all the dragons should be the same, at least the same breed with similar capability and strength. But they said no, we'll have different dragons for each and every candidate and they get to randomly pick one. I mean, that is so unfair. I'm impressed by Harry being ethical and fair by letting Cedric know that the first task is dragons. The second task is the one that made me fear the most the first time I read the book, because Harry had no idea about what the egg meant until like 1 week before the tournament or the challenge, and then he had no idea as to what he was going to do 10 minutes before the task started. Dobby's appearance here is also explained by Barty Crouch's confession at the end. What I didn't like though is Harry trying to save both Ron and Fleur's sister. I mean, he ought to have given it a thought. It's not like Dumbledore would have let somebody die, right? If he had racked up some more points against Cedric, then in the final task, which was the maze, he could have got ahead of Diggory and whatever happened would have happened without losing Cedric. I'm just saying. The third task, according to me, made least amount of sense, and it was also arguably easier than the first two. Hear me out, okay? First challenge was dragons, very risky and prone to serious injuries. But the second task was still quite dangerous, staying underwater for about an hour. But the third task, blast into its Scroots, a boggart, and the Sphinx that asked the questions. All of these put together don't seem as terrifying as just the horntail from the first task. Now coming to the characters that you can feel some change in. First is Hagrid. Hagrid was the first person to shower Harry with love and show him what it meant to be a wizard. But even in the last book, when Hagrid was trying to save the hippogriff, nobody helped except Hermione. But in the series, Hagrid needs love, care, and encouragement. Hagrid is extremely quick in doubting himself, and when the entire world gets to know that he is half giant, it takes Dumbledore and the entire trio to convince him to keep his job and not resign. Next, in Harry, Ron, and Hermione, all the three speak a tad differently and behave a bit differently compared to the first book, more maturely, definitely. I love Harry's bravery and confidence even in the midst of all of that ambiguity, confusion. He refuses to take help from Ludo even though he is absolutely clueless about the egg in the second task. He believes in fair play and I love him for that. I also pity him for his fame that he didn't want. It feels like a burden sometimes and is also making him face arguments with Ron, who would actually love that fame. Harry just wants to be a normal boy with normal friends. He knows that fame comes at a cost. Jealousy, fake rumors, unwanted attention, whatnot. Harry is a very firm believer in good values, and when he wins the Triwizard tournament, he not only gives his share but his entire winnings to the twins. He says, "Everyone needs a laugh right now, and you need it more than me." Wow, that guy has a big heart. Not many people care for him like he does for others. Then Ron. In this book, it's not about him doing something, but it's just that he's always there with Harry whenever he needs help, except the first argument. And I love how Hermione understands the situation. She knows that both her friends are not wrong in what they're doing, but she helps Harry because he needs her the most to get through the first task. And was Harry happy when he got back Ron after the first task? Ron is really not the one to blame here. Frankly, nobody is. He just felt like he was a sidekick when the hero got all the attention. The spotlight was never on him. I kind of feel like he was very rough towards Harry when he figured out that somebody had put Harry's name into the goblet, which he had thought Harry had done himself. And Hermione, man, she's so supportive and helpful. Like without her, I doubt Harry would have made it to the first task. Always believed in Harry and his potential, and it's also usually Ron and Hermione that argue about Crookshanks and whatnot, but it's actually the first time we are seeing her keeping the trio together. She helps Harry master the summoning charm and the different hexes during the last task. I mean, having a brilliant friend can go a long way. Worst part, I think, in the second and the third task is the audience. Like, what's the point of having them come and sit there like rocks waiting for Harry to come out of the water? Has Harry drowned or has Harry been killed? For like an hour, like what's the point? Even in the third task, they have their family come into Hogwarts from half a country away just to what? Sit and hope that their contestant isn't killed by a blast in its scrute. Next is the ending. Scene, the great dark wizard Voldemort comes back to power. All his Death Eaters join him. He creates a majestic army. But it's also not like two boys just went to Voldemort and just got away with it. There was a fight and that was incredible. But one thing I felt sad about is that we never got to mourn Cedric and his death. Now coming to the various clues that have been left throughout the book, waiting for you to reach the end and realize. Firstly, Mad-Eye Moody / Barty Crouch Jr.'s weird behavior, Trelawney's prediction. We understand the reason why Barty Crouch Sr. just fired Winky like this without a second thought, and then even until the end we do not understand how Barty Crouch Jr. escapes the prison alive. So many of these puzzle pieces, like they just fall into place and boom, take everything that's happened until now. I think this is the best Monologue Expedition in the series yet. This is also where you learn something more about Dumbledore and you become so much more attached to him. I love his capability of handling such tense situations. Here we can also see the sportsmanship that Hogwarts students have ingrained in them. Like Cedric and Harry both grab the cup at the same time. Pacing in this book is the best pacing yet because the tasks keep coming and they keep you interested in the book. You never feel bored. When you reach this point, you finally realize that you're more than half through the series, and trust me, you don't want it to end. So read with patience, not to finish the series, because You become so damn attached to the characters that you do not want the story to end. Thanks for watching this review, and if you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more such content. See you next time.